Why I give SuDoku for extra credit sometimes on today's ThinkShare. Hello and welcome to the ThinkShare. My name's Zach. I'm here to bring to you what I've been thinking about, sharing about, talking about, listening to that doesn't belong in math class. If you're new to the channel, I invite you to subscribe. Recently, someone asked me why I assign SuDoku for extra credit sometimes. Currently I'm teaching geometry and algebra 2. One of the really specific skills that a lot of people will use after high school, they'll use after college, they'll use all throughout their life is inductive reasoning. Inductive reasoning is one of the major skills that's played in here. When you go to put in a number, it doesn't require computation. What you have to figure out is whether something belongs there or not. You have a certain set of rules that you have to abide by, and you have to figure out how to fill in the rest of the puzzle. If there's a 4 in one square, 4 in the other square, I should be able to narrow down to at least 3 different spaces where the 4 goes in the third one. If I have a 4 over here, hopefully I can narrow it down to 2 spaces. And then if I have another one over here, I should be able to narrow it down to just 1 space. That is a skill. No matter what career you go into, you're gonna have some kind of problem solving to do. That's kind of like the scientific method. So for example, I was trying to figure out who kept playing music on my smartboard that wasn't in class. And so I noticed some things. So I realized that it was happening specifically with one period class. It could happen all day, it could be people outside the classroom, but it was happening in one specific class. And I started monitoring who was going outside of the class, who was in the class, who had their phones out, and I started looking at other pieces of information to see if I could narrow down who the person might be. And I was actually able to do that on some level. So you could be doing something like that in any profession. It doesn't matter what. That kind of inductive reasoning you could be using in really any career. What you can't necessarily use in every single career is how to find the angles of a triangle. Hey, real quick, if you're still watching right now, I wanna see if we can get 10 likes on this video. You might be able to use that. Something recently, me and my wife were working on a project is building a tent and figuring out where to cut so that we don't have any extra material that we're toting up a mountain. A lot of the skills that we learn in geometry are not always going to be directly content applicable. So the specific content we're practicing is not always going to be directly applicable to a lot of other areas. The context of it, which is the inductive reasoning, will be. If they're practicing more inductive reasoning, they're going to get better at geometry because you're using the same part of your brain. When I go to make one of these problems where there's a bunch of angles in different spots on 2 lines cut by a transversal, and I go to put in the numbers, that is inductive reasoning right there. So if they're practicing those skills, they are getting better at geometry in general. Hope this is useful for anyone that might be confused or thinks it's strange that I do SuDoku puzzles for extra credit. If you like this and you want more, hit the subscribe button. If you want notifications every day that I come out with a new video, hit the bell. Thank you for watching. Stay weird.